Greetings and salutations, Average Rider here. Let's install a K&N air filter. I've changed air filters before, specifically installed K&N in my Triumph Bonneville before, and I've swapped them out in cars, and I've changed many air filters in other cars before. And never before I've had to go through so much work just to change an air filter in a vehicle. I had to remove the fuel tank to change the air filter in this Honda. This is my 2018 Honda CB650F. Before you even start this, I highly recommend having as little fuel as possible in your tank. Then I start by removing the side panels. I just show myself taking off one, but both sides need to be removed. I put the 3 bolts on each side back in the original spot for safekeeping. You then remove this bolt. There's one on each side. After that, this panel needs to be pulled off the hook and loop and left loose. With that, the tank can be lifted up. It's still on a hinge, but I was able to raise it high enough to disconnect the 2 hoses and the fuel line. Please note that there's a little tab on the fuel line you need to pull loose before removing it. The larger of the 2 hoses gave me a bit of trouble, but it eventually came off. I placed some blue shop towel here once I disconnected the fuel line just in case. With the hoses disconnected, I set the tank back down and removed the nut and bolt at the hinge. This allows access to disconnect the electrical connection. I then set the fuel tank off to the side on a towel. Here's a quick pic of the bottom of the tank. With the fuel tank off, disconnect the electrical connection and remove all the screws around the edge, plus one in the middle. Then you can lift up the cover, exposing the filter. There's still 2 screws holding the air filter in. Here's a quick picture of the dirty side of the filter. As you can see, this is still very clean, but like I said, I wasn't in here anyway, so why not? Install the new air filter and put in the 2 screws. Putting everything back is now the reverse of taking it off. Reinstall all the screws. I just did them till they were snug. And don't forget to reconnect the electrical plug. When putting the tank back on, I set it back a little so I could reconnect the electrical plug. I then put it back on the hinge and reconnected the 2 hoses in the fuel line. Make sure to push the tab back in. Reinstall the nut, bolt, and washer for the hinge. This can be tightened snug till it stops. You'll then need to line up the tank and the electrical bracket on the right-hand side. The left side doesn't have the electrical bracket. Reconnect the hook and loop for these panels, and then you can reinstall the side panels. If you stored the bolts in the holes, make sure to remove them first. Once again, tighten the bolts till they're snug. Reinstall the seat, and the only thing left to do is to go for a ride. This bike has so much power, and I really like the throttle response. I'm not sure I noticed a difference after installing the K&N air filter, but that's pretty much what I expected. Well, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.